Welcome to the Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy. And welcome to the SEC on ESPN. It's a border war game at Rupp, Tennessee, taking on Kentucky. Bob Wischusen, Dick Vitale ready for what should be, Dick, a low-scoring, competitive game. Certainly seems like that's the style of play of Tennessee and Kentucky. And Big Blue Nation, they have ridden a roller coaster with their team this season, but it's been a roller coaster of late. Which is the real Tennessee, and what Vols team will we see tonight? That's certainly a big question.
Well, Jekyll and Hyde, they're really a Jekyll and Hyde team. They blow out Missouri by 20. Then they come home and lose to Missouri at home. They go out and blow out Florida, get blown out by Florida. They come back and blow out Kansas. So what are we going to see? Will the real Tennessee team step up? I'll tell you one thing, though. They do play suffocating defense, and Kentucky's had a tough time scoring all year. How are they going to do against the #1 defense efficiency by Ken Pomeroy when he looks at the Vols?
A Kentucky team that is 5-11, 4-5 in the league. They were off to a 3-1 start in the SEC and have now lost 5 of their last 6. And more often than not, with 3 or 4 minutes to go in each of those 5 losses, they've been right there with a chance to win the game. And John Calipari has spoken about that frustration with a team that he believes is giving maximum effort, just not getting results for that effort. As Olivier Sarr spins and is way off the mark on the game's first shot. Here comes Santiago Vescovi.
Well, a little interesting matchup when you look at Sarr and you look at Pons. They played together on the French national team, and also when you look at both guys, they played against each other in high school in France. So that'll be an interesting matchup. The problem with Sarr is foul trouble, Bob. Always in foul trouble.
4 of the 5 starters for Tennessee are lefties. And there's the only righty. Keon Johnson fades away and scores the game's first points after Isaiah Jackson for Kentucky picked up the game's first foul.
Well, Keon Johnson, a very highly rated young player. They really believe he's got a great opportunity to have a tremendous future, and so does his partner back there, Mr. Springer.
Boston at the elbow. That's too strong, and Yves Pons has the rebound.
Boston's got to make shots. He wants to become a complete player. He cannot just utilize the drive to the goal. He's got to be better making a perimeter shot, taking good shots, stepping up, squaring his body. You know, Tennessee gives up only like 58 points a game. I mean, so really very tough to score. And Kentucky, one of their problems all year, Bob, has been the ability to score.
Yeah, they're only averaging 67.5 points a game. That's the lowest per game offensive average as Sarr's jump hook comes up short since the 1984-85 Cats. So
wow.
We're talking a long time since a Kentucky team struggled to score the way this team has struggled to score this season, Dick, to your point.
Well, I had a few hairs on my head at that time. I mean, back then, that's a lot of years. That's 36 years ago.
I watched you. I was in grammar school back then when you were about 10 or 12 years into your broadcasting career. And welcome to Rupp Arena. After a thriller between North Carolina and Duke, the Heels survive a 4-point win. But North Carolina and Duke playing out the way North Carolina and Duke normally will. There's Yves Pons throwing one down for a Tennessee team that is coming off of a very disappointing loss against Ole Miss on Tuesday night. Bob Wischusen and Dick Vitale here on a Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy. And Dick, Tennessee off to the early 2-point lead, and now it will be a foul called away from the ball, it looks like, against Kentucky.
You know, Pons really a guy that's really active as can be. He was the elite defensive player last year, voted the #1 defensive player in the league, and this year he's averaging 15 points a game as well. You know, he and Sarr have a relation. They played together on the French national team and played against each other on the scholastic level when they were in France.
Keon Johnson with a nice shot fake, and he knocks one down around B.J. Boston.
Nice little start by Keon Johnson. He's a player they really feel has a world of potential.
Foul called on Vescovi, and when you caught up with Rick Barnes after that loss against Ole Miss, what did he tell you his main concerns were coming into tonight?
Toughness. He said we're not tough enough. We got to be mentally tougher, physically got to be more aggressive, and we can't turn the ball over and miss one-on-ones, 2 of them that cost them big time against Ole Miss.
Sarr with a tough catch in traffic, hands one off Keon Brooks for a wide open jumper.
Yeah, Brooks got that little 12-foot mid-range shot. A lot of guys missed that shot.
A turnover. Jaden Springer lost it. Davion Mintz the other way, and he's fouled on his way to the cup, so he will shoot 2.
You know, talking to John Calipari, his frustration was around the fact that his team has been close. He said it's like 6 games that we were right there to win, and we didn't close out the games. We didn't close them out. And this has been a tough year for them. I mean, 5-11, Kentucky. Hey, Bob, what are the odds? Think about this. Before the season, if you looked at a preseason top 20 and somebody said they'd give you odds that Michigan State, Kentucky, Kansas, and Carolina, well, I'll eliminate Carolina because they won today, and the bottom line, they're getting close. But those teams I just mentioned, the 3 of them, what are the odds of them not being in March Madness preseason? That's very real right now. I personally think when you look at Kentucky, there's only one way. There's only one way. They better hope there's an SEC tournament because they're going to have to win that unless a miracle happens and they run the table, and that's pretty tough to feel that can happen after watching them play most of the year.
Well, a big step towards pulling off an upset tonight would be to pile up foul trouble against Tennessee, and that is what they are doing early on. As on the last trip down the floor defensively, John Fulkerson picked up his 2nd foul. So now Fulkerson is on the bench with 2, and just like that, his replacement, Olivia Kamwa, commits a foul as well. So you get some front court foul trouble with Eve Pons and Fulkerson. That could open a door for Olivier Sarr to do some damage.
Well, you know, those veteran players are so important, those seniors, and those veteran guys, Pons and Fulkerson. That's one of the problems, getting them to be consistent. They were really good when we had them against Kansas. They were not really good in that game against Ole Miss.
And Santiago Vescovi just picked up his 2nd. So 2 of the more important starters for this Tennessee team have picked up 2 personal fouls, and we have not even reached our first media timeout. Fulkerson is already on the bench, and Vescovi's about to join him there. And Kentucky's got the early lead. So John Fulkerson, a Wooden Award mid-season top 25 edition. And Santiago Vescovi, who is #1 in the SEC in assist-to-turnover ratio. Both on the bench in foul trouble. Let's see how the depth of Tennessee now handles that.
And coaches can't leave guys wide open. We got to make that layup.
Josiah Jordan-James' 2nd effort gets it done.
Got Jordan James right there in the offensive glass. 2nd effort gets
another foul on Kamwa. So Olivier Kamwa, who came in after Fulkerson picked up 2, has inside of 30 seconds also picked up 2 fouls.
Well, maybe he likes sitting on a pine. Maybe he likes sitting next to the coach. He wants to sit on a pine. Wow.
Foul trouble early on for Rick Barnes Vols. And ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5 Hour Energy, the official sponsor of Getting Stuff Done. Welcome back to the Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy. This is the SEC on ESPN. Bob Wischusen, Dick Vitale, a Saturday Showcase already showcasing foul trouble for the Tennessee Vols. Bob Wischusen, Dick Vitale, and Dick, it'll be interesting to see how Rick Barnes, who is really a coach since he arrived at Tennessee that has given Kentucky all that they can handle, now handles this early foul trouble to his big men.
You know, you make a good point there about Rick Barnes, one of the few coaches that has the edge on Calipari in head-to-head. He's up 7-5. He's beaten him twice in Lexington. He's beaten him 4 times down in Knoxville, and he beat him once on a neutral in the SEC tournament down in Nashville. So there aren't many guys that can claim that against John Calipari.
B.J. Boston at first denied by Jaden Springer, and his second shot sails out of bounds. So again, Tennessee has depth. They've got 8 players that average at least 10 or more minutes per game, but Uroš Plavšić is not one of those players. And he has been called on to now come into the game early, with John Fulkerson and Olivier Kamwa both picking up 2 fouls each in the first 4 minutes of the game.
Well, a kid like Plavšić, now he gets an opportunity to prove that he can play. He can take advantage of that time. Nice little triple threat position. I love the way he does that, Pons.
Offensive rebound pulled out by Josiah Jordan-James.
Very active athlete.
Shot clock down to 8. Wasting no time as James, though, tries a 3. That won't go. There's Plavšić with an offensive rebound. Bailey able to connect after Plavšić kept the possession alive.
Yeah, Bailey gets the deuce, but he's got to go hug Plavšić because he made that happen, man, with that offensive rebound. Bailey's a pretty good shooter, even though he struggles. At times you look at his stats, but everybody says he's a pretty good shooter. Came from Oregon, transfer.
Allen in and out for 3.
Monte Allen didn't get a lot of minutes in the last game against Missouri. That doesn't make a lot of Kentucky people happy because they really love seeing him on the floor. He's the one threat to shoot the 3. But John Calipari says he's got to play better defense. He's got to defend.
He only earned 7 minutes in that loss to Missouri on Tuesday. There's Olivier Sarr with a good box out and draws the foul on Yves Pons. 7-footers in the SEC. We're looking at one in our game tonight, the redshirt sophomore from Serbia. And we've got actually 2, not only Uroš Plavšić, but of course Olivier Sarr, the 7-footer from France as well for Kentucky.
You know, Czar's a kid that's been in foul trouble a great deal. The last game, for example, they're right there with a chance with 3 minutes to go, with opportunity to battle Missouri to the end and possibly get a win. He played 12 minutes. He played 12 minutes and fouled out of the game. He's got to be able to stay on the floor, and he's got to be able to stay out of foul trouble, but he still has to be physical. They want him to be much more physical. His physicality has not been what they expected.
How many times has John Calipari been in that position, Pick, after the game, talking about his team being right on the doorstep of a win and not getting it done inside of the last 3 or 4 minutes?
Oh, absolutely. He told me 6 times this year we're right there to win games and just didn't get it done, didn't close it out, didn't make shots. You got to make shots. You got to, there's no secret. They're not a good shooting basketball team. You look at their stats, certainly show that. Sloppy right there. The rhythm right now, Tennessee, is not what they would like. And obviously, as you look at Rick Barnes, he's not happy that his guys are sitting next to him, Fulkerson and Sonny Vescovi.
Rick Barnes talked about how sloppy his team was in the second half of their loss to Ole Miss on Tuesday. They were 5 of 20 from the field in the second half and had 11 second half turnovers. And that was
really turned up.
Pretty much solely responsible for a very low-scoring 2-point loss. Keon Brooks. Shot fake and finishes with the left hand.
Nice little one-on-one move right there against Pons, who's an elite defensive player. Brooks took him one-on-one and scored.
And now Keon Brooks going back and forth with Yves Pons. He draws the foul, and those two now have words. We got a big Monday lineup for you on ESPN and the app when North Carolina hosts Miami in Chapel Hill at 7 Eastern. So North Carolina coming off a big win against Duke. And how about Oklahoma State coming off of a double overtime win of their own today against Texas? They will take on Kansas. And boy, Dick, is Kansas struggling as well. You talked about lumping Kansas in with Kentucky, with Duke, with Michigan State, some of the real blue blood programs in college basketball that might not be in the NCAA tournament before all is said and done if they keep up their performance to date.
Well, John Clay, fine writer down there in Lexington, wrote a column about the Champions Classic to start the season. Who does it involve? Kentucky, Michigan State, Kansas, and Duke. And all four of them. Somebody said, you got to change that title. Get rid of that champions at the top. You don't change it. Not 1 year, man. Not 1 year. And I want to message out there to those people on social media going about, oh, Calipari should be fired. Calipari. Come on, get real. Get absolutely real. The guy's one of the best coaches in America. I don't care what this year shows. Bottom line, look at his track record at Mass and at Kentucky. It's off the charts. So get off that crazy feeling, but he is not getting fired. That will not happen. I got a better chance of growing hair than him getting fired at Kentucky.
Let me ask you a question. Let's say, just for the sake of argument, John Calipari got fired tomorrow. Would the day end without him getting another job? I mean, think about how many envelopes would be with an offer on his desk within about an hour if Kentucky was dumb enough to fire John Calipari. And you're right, that's just social media ridiculousness. He's not going anywhere, nor should he. Coming up short, Lance Ware. Keon Brooks with an offensive rebound. That might do it too, as Eve Pons ends up with the rebound.
I like Pons. I know he has some shortcomings shooting the ball at times, but I like the way he plays. Plays hard. He's fundamentally sound. He defends. See, they're all getting that triple threat position. They teach that.
And a soft bounce for Jaden Springer.
Well, Springer's dad was a great player. And Gary was a terrific player down there at Iona. Played for Pat Kennedy, but he was recruited really by Jimmy Valvano. Tommy Abatamarco was on that staff and now works for Rick Pitino in Iona. Rick Barnes told me we want to play a lot quicker than we've been playing. And there's an example right there. I want to play at a faster pace.
Well, the faster pace resulted in a wide open look for Springer. He just couldn't knock it down. Coming up short is Brooks, but he gets his own miss. They work it around to Dante Allen. That won't go. Victor Bailey's got the rebound, and now a couple of players again have to be separated as E.J. Anasicki got tied up in the lane for Tennessee as he went chest to chest with Lance Ware.
Lance Ware's a tough kid. He's a tough kid. A little limited offensively, but he gives you his best. He's physical, and he's absolutely tough.
Is Knoxville upgrading Rupp? Has there been an orange invasion in Big Blue Nation country? We'll explain in a moment. There's a major renovation project currently going on at Rupp Arena, and with about a 2.5-hour drive from Rupp down to Knoxville, maybe you'll hire a steel company from Knoxville to come up and work on the arena. I think that's what they did. Well, you know what? You might have a Tennessee fan or two on the crew. The guy that worked the crane for Superior Steel out of Knoxville, Tennessee, earlier today left behind a Tennessee flag that currently is flying above Rupp Arena as we speak.
Oh, wow.
Ahead of this rivalry game tonight. Maybe that's the guy. Who knows? He might have stuck around, gotten a ticket, and got inside to watch his Vols in a 14-14 tie early on. And there is a denial at the rim. Jacob Toppin making his first impactful play as he stopped Anasicki. Or check that, Keon Johnson. Austin at the foul line. That's short. Gets his own miss. Can't connect, but Sarr cleans it up.
Yeah, Sarr hanging around the basket, uses that 7-foot size, gets an offensive rebound. Hey, you know why Fulkerson's going to be really missed here if he doesn't get back on the floor? He had 27 against Kentucky last year. They were down 17 and made a great comeback to win that game, and Fulkerson was the star of stars, man. A star of stars. He, unbelievable, had a big-time game. Career high 27.
Bank shot for Jacob Toppin with Fulkerson on the bench, picking up the 2 early fouls. Keon Johnson swoops to the goal and finishes.
Tell you what, Keon Johnson really looks impressive early in the game. Showed that great quickness right there. Exploded to the goal, beat a guy off the bounce, and nobody was there to rotate, give any kind of help.
Devin Askew, he is able to create an and one on the drive.
Tell you one thing, I feel a little sorry for this young guy. He's a young kid coming into college as a freshman, trying to do his best, and he's got so much criticism by so many, especially against social media. There he is using the left hand with the drive to the goal. I mean, people are just not patient. You know, Bob, everybody wants instant success out of kids that come in with big high school reputations.
He's really struggled over his last 5 games coming into tonight. 4 for his last 27 from the field. 0 for 9 from 3. He has not made a 3 since January 12th against Alabama. But that is an old-fashioned 3-point play to give Kentucky a 5-point lead.
I think a little psychologically he's dealing with that. But again, he was a kid who reclassified. But you have to understand, he also, as an 8th grader, was held back a year to get a little more maturity. So really is in the same class that he should be in.
Czar for 3. Yes!
I think you see moments in Czar. To me, he's a teaser. You see some moments, and you expect this to come out all the time. And for some reason, it does not. You see some of the skills he possesses.
Vescovi picked up his dribble. Needs some help. And Josiah Jordan-James bailed him out. Victor Bailey, he connects.
Well, he's a capable shooter now. He's not shown it, though, when you look at the stat sheet, but he's very capable of putting points quickly on the board. You know, early in the year, they were averaging like 70 points a game when you look at Tennessee, but it has been a struggle for them to score. I mean, as of late.
Askew hits a 3 from the corner, and boy, does that have to feel good for Devin Askew. As I said, that is his first made triple since January 12th against Alabama.
Wow.
Czar.
Happy to see a kid.
That's goaltending.
You know, happy to see a kid who's struggling really step up like that. Askew's, that's tough to deal with. You know, you play at Kentucky, you really watch every little thing is analyzed, evaluated. Watch the little screen right here by Czar. Defense steps away, and now he's going to step back, catch the ball right here, step back, and he's going to shoot the jumper. And man, he could do that. See that nice stroke?
Kentucky only averages 5.2 made threes per game, 318th in the country. They've already made 2 triples early, and there's a missed triple, but Isaiah Jackson on the follow.
Well, that's why he's rated so high by so many people. His athleticism is off the charts, and we talk about it. You saw an example of it down there, and he's also very aggressive and physically. What he lacks is his ability skill-wise offensively. Look at this behind the arc. Look at Kentucky. You know, the funny part about it, you know, Bob, really rare, they made 9 threes for 20 against Missouri and still lost that game. That was one of their better games shooting the 3.
In and out for Mintz. Now you can see based on those numbers, anything that Kentucky gets from behind the arc is almost gravy. Keon Johnson does it again.
Too many guys getting right down the lane without being stopped at all.
Terrific pace to this game so far, though. End-to-end action. Both teams are attacking the basket, and Johnson tries to do it again and draws the foul, although B.J. Boston thought he was in a legal position.
Well, Rick Barnes said he wanted to play a fast game. He wanted a little tempo. He said, we want to run, baby, run. Run, baby, run. The fouls, taking it to the goal.
Tennessee and Kentucky, a higher scoring game than we expected. Bob Wischusen and Dick Vitale. Tennessee starts off the season 10-1, but Dick, they've lost 3 of their last 5. And of course, Kentucky, they showed some flashes in the middle of what has been a miserable 5-11 start to this year. They had a 3-game winning streak that was snapped, and they have now lost 5 of their last 6. Throw in a cancellation in the Big 12 SEC Challenge against Texas. And just when you thought maybe after a really slow start, Kentucky was turning the corner, 3-1 to begin the SEC schedule, they are now 4-5 in the league.
You know, right here, you think about this when you look at the score and the pace of the game. Right now, when you look at the fouls, they've scored in the 50s 4 times this year. I mean, in 4 losses, they average 56.5. And right now, they're scoring at a really pretty good rate if they can continue this. But you know what? They started the game early and scored big in the first 10 minutes against Ole Miss. In the second half, they went like in a drought. Mentioned Missouri, a little bit earlier. What a big win today, beating Alabama. I'll tell you what,
Yes.
Quanzo Martin, he's going to be coach of the year in the conference. He's doing a great job with that Missouri team.
Foul called on Keon Johnson, but he thought he had stripped it away cleanly from Jacob Toppin. As we take a look at the SEC standings, Alabama still in charge of this league at 10-1. It certainly looks like they are going to be the SEC regular season champions, but you've got a Tennessee team that's ranked 11th in the AP poll, and yet, Dick, they're right in the middle of the pack. They need this win just to stay with that very crowded field of 6-win teams behind Alabama.
Yeah, it looks like Alabama. I mean, you talk about certainly Coach Oates is going to be the right favorite to be the coach of the year. I'm talking about Quanzo coming on, unless there's a real failure by Alabama to survive and to stay up on top. I think they will stay on top. I think they got a chance. They're going to look at their schedule coming up. They got a chance to go on a real run.
Lance Ware with a couple of offensive rebounds to keep this possession alive. But a whistle away from the ball.
That's what Ware does well. He really goes after the ball, really aggressive. You got Arkansas, Kentucky on Tuesday. I mean, Kentucky's on TV a little bit. You can say what you want, man. They're a hot item on TV. So is that team called Duke.
How about the second half of our Super
Carolina.
Tuesday doubleheader?
Well, you must be doing
this
that
one
game,
too?
right? I knew that. West Virginia, Texas Tech should be a very good game. West Virginia had the good win today over Kansas.
Steve Pons kicks one out, and Jaden Springer knocks one down.
Springer really impresses a lot of people. The last game, he had a bad game. He was 1 for 7 against Ole Miss.
A block at the rim. Tennessee has made 7 consecutive field goals, trying to keep a hot streak alive as they have retaken the lead. A shot fake by Springer. He kicks one out to James. That's off the mark. And the rebound is pulled down by Jacob Toppin.
One thing about Toppin, he's like Ware, man. They come after you. They play hard, very aggressive. I think Toppin's going to become a very good player in a Kentucky uniform.
Ware spins and pins. And the arrow will give the basketball to Tennessee.
Watch this right here now. You're going to see here. Catch the ball. Look at that shot fake. Do 3 things when you square it to the body. You can go to the basket. You can pass it. You can drive and shoot it. But they do a great job at Tennessee teaching. Catch the ball and get in triple threat position. Use a little jab step, little shoulder fake.
A little confusion here. I'm not sure if Tennessee realized the basketball belonged to them, but they had the arrow with 6 minutes to go in the first half of what has been a back and forth affair. At one point, Kentucky had a 7-point lead when it was 29-22. This run for Tennessee has given them a 2-point lead as they are now shooting 54% from the field. But an answer at the other end, Davion Mintz.
Well, Mintz caught it from his buddy Askew. Askew did a terrific job running that ball up the court and having the vision to know where his teammate was on the floor, and found him, and he delivered from a Creighton player.
The long rebound, check that, it was Dante Allen, and back the other way comes Askew. Puts it down to the post to Sarr.
He likes a little baseline jump shot here.
Right over the top of Yves Pons, but it comes up short.
He missed 2 like that to win games against Notre Dame and against Louisville. They both were right there to go down. You talk about losing tough games.
Springer, wraparound pass off the shins of Anasicki.
You know, Anasicki was right there for the layup. The pass was just a little bit too strong, but the right idea was there by Springer. See, I look at Springer and I look at Johnson. these kids, they may get drafted, in the first round in the NBA, and then where do they go, Bob? They get some dollars, but maybe you get your only one contract, you don't get a second because you go down there to the G League, and who knows what's going to happen because they're not ready to play in the NBA, that's for darn sure, but they get drafted on pension.
Throws it down. Right now we've got Jaden Springer, at least on our mock draft at ESPN. Jaden Springer as a first-round pick. Keon Johnson, I believe the last mock draft for ESPN that I saw had him getting taken number 7 overall. You're going to be the number 7 pick in the NBA draft. It's impossible to stay in college, I would think.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Financially, it's tough for a kid to do that. But I just think sometimes these kids, they want that instant gratification and don't realize maybe staying in school is the best thing for them.
Springer tries to go end-to-end. That's an offensive foul. Mintz took the charge. He had position, and Jaden Springer turns it over. Kentucky with a 3-point lead under 4 minutes to go in the first half.
Make those threes,
Askew's first triple since early January.
He's exactly right there with that
three. That comes up short from the wing for Dante Allen.
Tell you one thing, when I think about Kentucky, you saw them right there. My mind tells me when you think about the great point guards, John Wall, you think about Brandon Knight, you think about Marcus Teague, you think about Mr. Harrison, Tyler Eulis, the Aaron Fox. I could go on and on. What about the kid, Gilgeous Alexander, now doing it in the pros really well. And then Hagens, they had Hagens last year. They've had some really good point guards. And that's lacking on this team this year. Let us charge, no doubt about it. Lower the shoulder. Right there, he's got to use a little more of that step.
James had the finish at one end. It is an offensive foul on Olivier Sarr at the other.
You mentioned James, Bob. His dad played with Magic Johnson at Michigan State, was the captain one year in 80-81. Played for Judd Heathcote. Now right here, see right now he's going to turn. As soon as that shoulder comes in, that's automatic. What he had to do there is maybe use the drop step and go to the baseline and get that foot where you get an angle on him and square your body on that baseline. Clinic 101 by UB Brown.
Davion Mintz with a nice shot fake and a finish.
Yeah, UB, you would like that, UB. I know UB would love that. 5-star fame. And by the way, 5-star camp, big to John Calipari and big to Rick Barnes.
Springer comes up short. Sarr's got the rebound and just about traveled as he was able to get the ball off to Davion Mintz before he dragged his pivot foot. Off the curl, wide open, but off the mark for Toppin.
I like the way you call that, off the curl, man. You got analytical ability right there, Mr. Wishusa.
Well, I've, tried to get better at this over the years. How am I doing?
You're doing a good job, buddy.
Yeah, you're not bad yourself.
Job.
You might have a future in this if you keep on polishing your craft.
I'll make you my PR agent.
Shot clock down to 5. Eve Pons is going to have to put one up over Sarr. That's no good, and now a foul will be called. It looks like on Keon Johnson.
Both these clubs are capable of getting really, really cold.
Tonight, the SEC Now team wraps up a full day of hoops with all the highlights, breakdowns, and interviews with players and coaches. 10 Eastern, 9 Central, over on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Keon Johnson picking up his second foul. So the foul trouble continues to mount. Now, I guess, Dick, you'd have to give Tennessee some credit for getting through the bulk of the first half without John Fulkerson and Santiago Vescovi. They both picked up their second foul before we even hit the under-16 timeout. They've been on the bench almost the entire first half, and yet Tennessee is right in this game with Kentucky. But now Keon Johnson picks up his second as well.
Well, down 5 right now. The bottom line is they want to be able to close this out with a few points. Narrow that gap. You don't want Kentucky to widen it. And let me tell you this, get some news here. For all the Tennessee fans, they are going to absolutely love Paul Biancardi, our fine guru who does the rating of high school players, sent me a text a little while ago. He said Kennedy Chandler will be the 3rd highest ranked recruit ever to pick Tennessee since they've been doing it. And he is, yes, really a talent. This guy is a big-time point guard. He's dynamite. Yesterday he was brilliant in the game, played really well as he did a phenomenal job for his school, Sunrise Christian, as they went into overtime and beat the #1 team in the country, Mount Vernon Academy from out of Orlando.
That jumper is pure for Keon Brooks.
What a nice first half Kentucky's having. You know, as they said in the studio, not turning the ball over, making open shots, putting 41 already on the board. They only give up 58.9. This kid signed with Kentucky.
They've got an impact guard coming in as well in Nolan Hickman.
When do they not have some impact players coming in?
Devin Askew off to a good start. He's got 8 points, Dick, on 3 for 3 from the field.
Yeah, I'm really happy for the kid because I read a lot of things on social media, and he's been really crucified by so many. And I'll tell you this, you see the young kid hanging in there and just battling and battling and battling, and he's done a solid job here tonight. Patience, my friends, patience. You watch a kid like that becomes a good player eventually.
Now you mentioned how young he is. He just turned 18 over the summer. He was the #1 point guard in the class of 21, reclassified to 2020 to get to Kentucky a year early, but did spend a prep year back prior to high school that I guess this kind of gets him back on what should be his normal timeline, but it has to be hard to be a freshman at Kentucky, right? It's just different being a freshman at Kentucky than it might be being a freshman at any other program in America.
I say amen to that. The pressure there, and also on the coaches. There's only a few coaches that can handle that kind of pressure. The scrutiny is unbelievable in every game. You know, Calipari was able to handle it. Patino certainly was able to handle it. Not many can.
Now the reward is you're playing for a coach that prepares you for the NBA as much as any coach possibly could. You're playing in front of 22,000 of the most passionate college basketball fans that there are, and I guess you know what you're signing up for. It's not like a kid doesn't know what he's getting into when he comes to Kentucky. As Yves Pons commits his second foul, he bowls over Olivier Sarr. Having said that, though, you're right, there still is such a constant white-hot spotlight on everything that man does and all of these freshmen that he brings in.
Well, John gets paid kind of well for that spotlight. I mean, $9 million a year is not bad. You can handle that at $9 million a year. And he deserves every bit of it because I'm telling you, what he brings into that university is incredible. It's like a CEO of a company. You know, the situation is pressure, pressure, pressure. But you know what? They're going to get good players. There's no doubt about it. But not every kid. Every kid is made to wear that Kentucky uniform. And you're right, Bob. The scrutiny is unbelievable. I mean, these guys are able to handle it. John Wall, just a phenomenal talent. So happy he's back playing again. I mean, this guy was pretty good too, wasn't he? It's not bad. Anthony Davis, are you kidding me? Karl Anthony Towns, I think he's had a few players there wearing that Kentucky uniform. Those kids, as freshmen, are a heck of a lot different than those rated very highly this year. They're generation players, man. Anthony Davis, Karl Anthony Towns, so unique and so special. John has such a passion. You made a great point, though, about the crowd, about the big crowds that they get. That is one thing I really believe the pandemic has hurt the big schools. The game before us, all right, Duke. You'd have a packed place. Cameron Crazy's going unbelievable. That's worth points. That's worth points. Kentucky with a packed house, passionate fans, the most passionate in college basketball. If that crowd is there, the adrenaline they give the team. Rock, chalk, jaywalk. You can say it about Kansas. You can say it about the Izzo down there with Michigan State. Those schools miss that. Do they still have a home court advantage? Of course. The fact you shoot in the same building, the fact you're sleeping in the same bed, the fact that you're not traveling, those are advantages. But not like if you had a crowd that is there going wild. I had to get that off my chest, Bob. I had to get it off my chest. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. There's no question. I've always heard that any of these places, the visiting team pretty much has to know they have to be about 10 points better than the home team because the crowd and its impact on the game is probably worth about 10 points.
Well, now it's probably worth 3, just the fact you're home. But you're right. That's a big difference. Plus the spark it gives a team. When those fans get up there, the adrenaline, you just want to do well. I mean, you wear a Kentucky uniform. Those kids in Lexington, they are almost as popular as the Secretariats and Seattle Slews and those. But Secretariat, Seattle Slew, and them, they're not signing autographs. They're taking pictures.
A turnover just before halftime as Askew. That will not count if it goes. Still, this is the most first half points allowed by Tennessee this season. A terrific first half for Kentucky. They've got an 8-point lead. It's time for the halftime report with Sean Farnham. Let's head back to the studio and Kevin Connors. Kevin? Welcome back to the ESPN Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy. This, of course, is the SEC on ESPN. Just about set for the start of the second half at Rupp Arena. It was a run-based first half, as at one point, Kentucky had a 7-point lead. A run by Tennessee gave them the lead. Then it was a run to end the first half for Tennessee, but it's an 8-point lead, Dick Vitale, in large part because Kentucky's doing a lot of the little things well.
Well, really great move right there for that layup. A little hit on. Right now, look at this. 2 guys double the ball. They find the open man right there. Somebody's got to be open, right? You don't have to go to Harvard to figure that out. Or go to Princeton or go to Yale. Be an Ivy League guy wide open. You just got to make the shot. And he does. All right. Great thinking right there. Take a look right here. They're going to see them. A little screen's going to come up. Watch this play here. Kentucky really executed exceptionally well. Watch this here. Great execution. They'll bring the ball, reverse it back out, wide open. Czar gets a triple threat position, shows he has range as a 7-footer, and makes that open shot.
That's Dick Vitale on Bob Schusen. How about adjustments in the second half for Tennessee after they gave up more points in the first half to Kentucky than they've given up in any half this season?
Well, they got to get Pons and Fulkerson going. Pons had 2 points. Fulkerson played only 3 minutes, was on the pine. I will tell you this. Kentucky was up 17 last year in the second half against Tennessee, and Tennessee won the game because Fulkerson went wild. I think he's stroking the ball tonight. Great open look for Czar, and he delivers.
He's in double figures, Olivier Sarr, for the 8th time this season. And John Calipari nearly unbeatable when winning by leading by double digits at any point during a game. Keon Brooks, one-on-one over Yves Pons. Does not get the roll, and Fulkerson clears.
You know, Brooks had a real strong first half. Made some big shots, scored on the inside. They got to get Fulkerson going. He's got to get involved in the game. He can't just be a guy sitting on a pine and standing around. He's got to play right here. Oh, you got to make that shot. You got to make that shot.
He missed the bunny. Pull up for Davion Mintz. That's a brick.
You were kind. That was a boulder.
Vescovi is fouled by Mintz up top.
Tell you one thing, Tennessee defense was not suffocating that first half. With some of the trends.
Kentucky closing the first half on a 12-2 run to open up an 8-point halftime lead, and that's where it stands now.
You know, Bob, one of the big situations, Kentucky getting to the free throw line and going 13 for 15. That's a major advantage.
Keon Johnson draws the foul, so he will shoot 2. That foul on Davion Mintz now his third. So that's the first player for either team to pick up their third personal foul. See if John Calipari pulls Mintz from the game.
You talk about eat, sleep, and drink the game. This guy 24/7. That's all he does. Well, I think for Kentucky, it's a thrill for them to see Olivier Czar finally really become a factor. He's with the rebound right now.
He had 11 double-doubles last season in the ACC as a third-team All-ACC selection for Wake Forest. And here he is again through a triple team, stripped away by Vescovi. And here comes Jaden Springer the other way. He glides in for two.
That's a big-time move right there by Springer, showing that athleticism, going the length of the court.
Showing some athleticism and laying one in is Keon Brooks.
Yeah, Keon does that well, drives to the goal, very strong. Getting him back is a big plus for Kentucky, no question. He's
now been in double figures 6 of the 8 games that he's played since coming back off of the calf injury that cost him the first 9 games of the season. And now Olivier Czar makes his presence felt on the defensive end.
You know, Czar has really become a factor here tonight, defensively and offensively. He's going to rotate over. Here he is. Czar right there, right on the play. He and Fulkerson matched up right now. Olivier on Mr. Fulkerson. Fulkerson's got to get active. You got to stand. You can't move. You got to move. Players got to want the ball.
The Pons miss. And fumbling it out of bounds at the other end now is Keon Brooks. So Kentucky very clean in the first half with only 1 turnover. They've now turned it over 3 times here in the second half.
That was a brilliant first half. I mean, they're going to put that one away. Sean talked about it at halftime. They played so well, didn't turn the ball over, got good shots. He's got another good recruiting class called the Paul B. and Cardi coming in next year. Many of these guys should be coming back. I can't see these guys going to the pros. I mean, come on.
Czar just picked up his second. Yeah, you're right. I mean, off of a 5-11 season, it's hard to think that there's going to be the same demand you normally would have for Kentucky players, at least this group in the NBA. But NBA teams nowadays, Dick, they draft the measurables and the potential and the development as much as they draft collegiate accomplishments.
Absolutely. It's all potential, potential, potential. And you know what happens with potential? He gets coaches fired, and then a new guy steps in. Potential, potential, potential. I want guys that can play.
On the drive. That was too strong. Here comes Devin Askew. Still crossover. Finds a trailer for the throwdown. Keon Brooks hangs from the rim off the feet from Askew.
You know, Keon Brooks ran the court really well, but what a brilliant play right there by Askew. He created that opportunity in transition. Good 2-man basketball. This is the best I've seen Kentucky play this year. Really, playing strong against a team that's supposed to be suffocating defensively. I mean, really. They give up 58 points a game. Look at Askew right now. There's the little potential he possesses. And Keon Brooks with the flush, with the finish. Down the lane, up and up away. There he is. Little skywalker time, little excitement. Just like the Bucks tomorrow when they beat those Chiefs, who you said it's impossible, Mr. Rashus. You told me it was impossible against the Saints. You told me it was impossible against the Packers. And I'd say it again, because you're going to go 0 for 3. And I'm going to go 3 for 3.
It's a little strong to say I said it was impossible because I picked the Saints and the Packers.
Well, you said no chance.
You got Tom Brady at quarterback. It's never impossible.
Wait. I'm going to get the tape. Like Warren Wolf used to say, get the tape. I heard on the tape, no chance was the word.
Yeah,
no
by
chance.
the way, tomorrow, the Bucks have no chance. Absolutely no chance.
You said that again. Oh, I feel good now. I feel really good.
You look very relaxed there, leaning back in front of all your awards.
I'm very relaxed,
That's
baby.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kimberly, here we go, baby. I feel very relaxed.
Austin with a step back, but Sarr set a moving screen.
Yeah, see, that's a silly foul for him. Now he's got 3. Now he's going to spoil a great performance because he's got to go to the bench. That's been a problem with Sarr. Going to the bench. Sarr has been really a problem in terms of foul trouble.
He fouled out, scoring 9 points against Missouri on Tuesday. He's fouled out 3 times and had a handful of other games where he's had at least 4 fouls. So you're right, that foul trouble has been something that Calipari has had to manage all year with Olivier Sarr. Nice shot fake again by Jaden Springer, and he will go to the line to shoot 2 more.
Yeah, Springer's really very aggressive tonight. You know, you mentioned Sarr has been that way in terms of when he was at Wake Forest as well. Showed some real toughness in the first half today. He was very aggressive, Olivier.
Springer now has 12, and he's really efficient. You talk about Olivier Sarr being really efficient. Jaden Springer in double figures for the 9th game this season, averages 9.6 points per game on only 6.9 field goal attempts per game. When you're scoring nearly double figures, not even shooting the ball 7 times a game, I would think Rick Barnes would say to him, shoot the ball more.
Yeah, he should definitely shoot. But he shot well poorly, though, the last game. He 1 for 7. But this kid's showing his ability right here in this game. Kentucky's got a lot of movement offensively. They're getting player movement, ball movement. Look at that. Good ball movement.
And Lance Ware is fouled.
He's such an aggressive player, Ware. Very physical. He's got to work next year on his offensive moves.
It's a 7-point lead. How old are you, Dick Vitale? I guess we're going to talk about that when we come back. Try and make you as uncomfortable as possible.
Yeah, well. Let's go Bucks! 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 Let's go Bucks!
Turns out it wasn't a dream.
Who's that wacko? Who's that wacko? Oh man! Bucks 38-34 over the Chiefs, and I will be there celebrating.
Yeah, it'll be a really interesting chess match to watch. I think we were just talking about it off the air a moment ago, how Todd Bowles, as a defensive coordinator, has always been Mr. Blitz. He blitzes at the highest percentage normally of a defensive play caller, going back to his days when he was the DC in Arizona for Bruce Arians. And I don't know, Dick, to me, if you look at all those injuries on the offensive line for Kansas City, you shouldn't have to blitz tomorrow. And Patrick Mahomes is so good against the blitz. That's a really interesting strategic chess game. Do you send numbers after Patrick Mahomes, or do you just tell that defensive line, hey, you're 4 against their 5, we're better, and it's on you guys to go after Mahomes yourself?
Well, you sound like me now. You're talking about football instead of basketball. We just had Isaiah Jackson with a reverse layup with the left hand for a deuce.
You weren't talking about football. You were just chanting, let's go Bucks.
They got that video from ESPN.com. I want to say this, though. I have a fellow tonight, John Moses. He and his son, Beckham, came to my house. We had dinner. We talked, had a lot of stories. But Mr. Moses gave thousands and thousands of dollars to the V Foundation for kids battling cancer to get 2 tickets that we got him for the Super Bowl and to have a time dinner at my house today, which he did, and we got him on a nice resort. John Moses, we love you, buddy. We appreciate it. Have a great time tomorrow. I know you're rooting for your Chiefs because he's from St. Louis, but that's the only thing that's not going to be happy for you.
Dante Allen and Josiah Jordan-James wrestle for a held ball. And let's try and raise some more money for kids battling cancer, Dick, and talk about the Dick Vitale Gala coming up again in May.
Yeah, May 7th, we can't wait. It should be really special. Dan Mullen, Bruce Pearl. You got Coach McGraw. I mean, she did a great job at Notre Dame. It's our own Scott Van Pelt And they've got Mr. Mortensen getting the John Saunders Award for courage. And then there's my books. You get autographed copies of my books right now, any one of those two. And there's Mr. Calipari in the book quite a bit. And I'll tell you one thing, you get the books and every dollar goes for kids battling cancer. Just go to dickvitale.com. You can get the books and you can also learn about the gala.
There's a big triple for Tennessee. Victor Bailey makes it a 4-point game. With 5.5 gone by here in the second half. Only the third made three in 16 tries for the Vols.
Tell you one thing, they were down 17 last year against Kentucky and came back. Nice try.
Another 17 now for Keon Brooks.
Yeah, he's really attacking the rim well. Good first step, explosive to the basket. He's a different player from last year. He really is. He didn't get a whole lot of minutes last year. Came out strong a game against Florida when they came back and won that game. He should be really good next year. Fulkerson's been really quiet, really quiet.
Well, Fulkerson with the early foul trouble picked up 2 fouls in the first 2.5 minutes of the game. So sat the entirety of the rest of the first half. So he has yet to score. And he had 11 points a game as a player that if Tennessee is at least going to stay in games or win them, they're going to have to get some offensive production out of John Fulkerson.
And some of his fans right now are saying, why are they going to show that graph? And he only played 3 minutes in the first half. But he's got to get going. He had 27 against him, a career high last year against Kentucky.
Fadeaway is short for Jaden Springer.
Shot selection is so big with young players. Learning what a good shot is. We're talking about that off. Oh, what about the charge there? Yeah, look at those
Looking back
numbers
to that last
year.
meeting with Kentucky and how much Fulkerson dominated that matchup, and he just picked up his 4th personal foul.
Wow, I thought he got charged. I thought it was a charge. Did you not, Bob?
It was hard to see the official behind the backboard and what the call was, to be honest with you, but I agree. My first instinct was that he was in pretty good position there.
I thought he beat him to the spot. I thought he beat him to the spot.
So Fulkerson right back to the bench in foul trouble. And again, it looks like Tennessee is going to have to play the majority of their second half without John Fulkerson.
Rhythm,
He tries to save it, stepped on the end block.
It's been a tough night for John Fulkerson. He didn't expect to be an assistant coach, and that's what he really basically is. He's an assistant coach tonight, sitting on that pine. Rick Barnes said, I need you on the floor. I need you on the floor, big guy.
And you know who else needs him on the floor is Yves Pons, because Pons draws a lot more attention if Fulkerson's out, and Pons only has 2 points on 1 for 6 shooting.
They played so well together as a tandem against Kansas. The execution, they were so efficient. A little high-low action they had.
Devin Askew to his left, comes up short. Offensive rebound and a stick back. 19 for Keon Brooks.
What a game he is having. That was just an aggressive play, the desire to want the ball. And he went and he got that basketball and converted.
His first double-double in the 8 games that he has played. And now Tennessee finally gets a friendly bounce. Bailey able to knock one down.
Yeah, Bailey put up some points, and that's his strength.
Stay with the hot hand. Why not? Unconscious. Keon Brooks. He's got 21.
That was a good one-on-one move, though. He took the ball right in the lane with the left hand, likes going to that left, and squares his body with the right hand and delivered to Jay. Keon Brooks having a great night.
Askew with the deflection, took it away from Vescovi.
Oh, nice pass.
Up ahead, throwing it down is Boston.
I'll tell you what, Boston got the boost.
Called by Tennessee.
One diaper dandy to another diaper dandy. Askew to Boston. They came in with a big-time reputation. This is what they were expecting out of these guys. This is what they wanted to see throughout the entire year. Where has it been? Where has it been? Here it is. Let him work in the glass. What an offensive rebound by Brooks. Oh, baby. This is Kentucky basketball. Oh, Big Blue Nation loves this. They love it. Look at the jam. Yes, sir. Oh, way.
Let's hear from John Fulkerson in our Wendy's Wooden Watch tonight.
I think a Wooden Award candidate brings First of all, leadership to their team. I think this is probably the most important and greatest attribute. And then other than that, their willingness to bring the team together, to put the team before themselves, and to make sure that they are getting everyone's best every time out.
John Fulkerson was second-team All-SEC last season, and as a leader on this year's Tennessee team was put on the midseason top 25 for the Wooden Award. But all he has been put on tonight, Dick Vitale, is the bench. 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes of the game. He has picked up a couple of more fouls early here in the second half. And so with nearly 12 minutes still to go in a game where his team trails by 10, the Wooden Award candidate for the Vols is on the bench with 4.
Yeah, he's really struggled tonight to get himself on the floor. I thought he got a raw deal there on the 4th foul. I thought it was definitely a charge. But again, that's, I don't make the call, they do. Hey, I want to give a little shout out here to a kid coming up in the UCLA game, coming up with UCLA and Southern Cal. Watch Evan Mobley, 6'10". Last 3 games, 62 points, 32 rebounds. He is legit big time.
Coming up as soon as we are done at Rupp, we've got UCLA and USC standing by. So Bill Walton and Dave Pasch will be on the call, Dick, of a game that has your attention.
That really does. Look at Bill up there. Check it out. All the people there. I mean, Bill, I'll tell you, he is absolutely one really funny guy. The big redhead. I'll tell you one thing, though. Talking about a big player, I mentioned Mobley. He's been dynamite. That diaper dandy for Andy Enfield has been unreal. You're looking at 13-3 and 14-3, these teams. Mick Cronin lost a key player in Chris Smith, but he hasn't missed a beat. And I'll tell you one thing. He's bringing back discipline, shot selection, defense, and a toughness. That'll be a good basketball game. People, remember the name. Evan Mobley, 6'10". He's had 62 points and 32 rebounds in his last 3 games. I want to give another quick shout out, Bob, to 2 mid-majors. Belmont is 20-1 right now. They got 20 wins today. They're 20th, and they're going to be a little tough team for teams to deal with in the tournament. And also, Drake won again today, beat Valparaiso. They're 18-0, the Bulldogs.
Foul called on Josiah Jordan-James, trying to stay with Keon Brooks. No one has been able to stop Keon Brooks for Tennessee tonight. He's got 21 points and 10 rebounds, his first double-double this season after missing the first 9 games of the year with a calf injury. So John Calipari very happy to see number 12 back out there for Kentucky.
Well, he's a good leader for the young kids out there. They're going to follow his way. I mean, this Kentucky team, if you have an SEC tournament, very capable of winning that tournament. I mean, they really are very capable of winning that tournament. Sounds crazy, but they can do it.
Askew can't hit the 3. By the way, Keon Johnson was called for that last foul, not James. And that's Keon Johnson's 3rd.
Look at Calipari
so now
working
Kentucky with some foul trouble as Boston, Mintz, and Sarr all have 3. And big foul trouble has been the story throughout for Tennessee. Fulkerson picked up 2 early fouls. He's on the bench with 4, and now Keon Johnson has 3.
Fulkerson and Pons, they're 2 stalwarts, the 2 seniors you expect to produce. What are they, like 1 for 8, 2 points between them?
Turnaround in the lane is there for Keon Johnson.
I like Keon Johnson. He and Springer, they really got one heck of a future. Those 2 young kids are trying to carry the load with the seniors really not producing today.
Brooks to his left, and that time an air ball. Springer will drive it, and he will draw the foul.
Nice drive by Springer right there. Now he's got to convert the free throw line. He missed some big one-on-ones late in the game against Ole Miss.
Kentucky already over the limit.
Hey, Bob, I know you're from New York. We're going to give St. John's a little shout-out. Mike Anderson's club beat Villanova. Today they beat Providence. They've been on a roll lately. If they're going to win this game, Tennessee, If they're going to win this game, Tennessee, focusing is going to become a factor late in the last 5-6 minutes. If he is not, they cannot win it. They need his size inside to produce. I mean, he's well rested now, and he comes off that bench. He has to produce.
All right, you're Rick Barnes. How long do you wait? Do you have a clock time in mind, a score in mind? When do you bring him back?
Yeah, I think score plays a part of that, Bob. It's a great question. Every coach is different. Me, I would probably go, if I can't hang on close, to the last 5-6 minutes. Depending on how close you are. If Kentucky opens up a gap, you can't wait.
Sarr from the elbow. In and out.
Sarr really shoots that
Chance
shot.
for Tennessee to cut
really
this down to 2, maybe 1. The lob inside to Yves Pons. Shot fake. And he's able to finish. And we've got a 2-point game.
What he did really well right there, the patience. Patience and the poise led to points, the 3 Ps. He was patient, he was poised, and he put points on the board. You like that, Robert? Robert was choosing the points, the poise, unbelievable patience, the 3 Ps. That should have been a foul earlier.
I heard 2 poise and a patience. I guess that's 3 Ps, and it's an 8-0 run for Tennessee. That forced John Calipari to call a timeout, as Yves Pons was looking for an and one.
Sometimes
we've got a big Monday lineup coming up on ESPN and the app. North Carolina off their win against Duke at Cameron will host Miami and Chapel Hill at 7 Eastern. And then we've got a matchup in the Big 12 with Oklahoma State taking on a very struggling Kansas Jayhawks team right now. Oklahoma State able to beat number 6 Texas at home today in double overtime. So some momentum for the Heels and the Pokes going into a big Monday.
You know my feelings about Oklahoma State. I think those kids belong in the NCAA tournament. They've had nothing to do with the violations that took place there. They penalized the right people. They penalized the assistant coach who was charged with taking money illegally, etc., from an agent or whatever. Bottom line is they penalized him. They penalized the school a little, but why penalize the team? I don't understand it. They're appealing it, and I hope and pray they win that appeal and are eligible to go in the tournament. Cade Cunningham and those kids deserve to be in the tournament.
Well, it looks like the timing is going to play in the favor of Oklahoma State as Devin Askew shuffled his feet and he turns it over. We were talking a couple of weeks ago to Mike Boynton, and he was saying that if they got to this point in the schedule and they hadn't had the hearing yet, the appeal hadn't been heard yet, that they just feel like it's so close to tournament time that it probably wouldn't be adjudicated before the NCAA tournament, and the calendar would just play in their favor and they would probably make it.
See, Kentucky makes turnovers at the crucial times. That's been a story this year, losing all those close games. Right now, they've gotten away from that efficiency that they had in that first half and early in the second half. Oh, nice fake.
Shot fake. Allows the flyby. Can't knock it down as Kentucky has been stuck on 58 since we've had about 12 minutes to go. So about 3 minutes without scoring, and Pons hits a turnaround fadeaway to tie it at 58.
Well, Z Pons has stepped up. The veteran has stepped up here late in the game. Now he's got to get help when his buddy comes in, focusing the two of them together.
Keon Brooks fouled on the floor by Josiah Jordan-James.
You know, playing people close only counts what? Close counts in horseshoes, doesn't count in basketball. And Kentucky's played a lot of people close. It's time they got to start finishing some deals off. Pons right there with a nice play, was very fluid in that move on the inside. Look at this, he and Zarp right there against each other. Look at them. They know each other, played on a French national team, played against each other in high school in France.
And now Olivier Sarr sets the moving screen.
He's done that twice today. That's his 4th foul. He's had a history of sitting on the bench.
Yep. So he and Fulkerson are now both on their respective benches with 4.
He's moving. You can't do that. Make contact like that. You can't make contact. He called it the screen. I got my buddy who used to live in Lakewood Ranch, now working in the executive office there with the SEC, former outstanding ref in the NBA, Bob Delaney. He helps big time. He's got so much information. Oh, nice fake right there.
Vescovi able to get one down deep. Great position for Keon Johnson. And Tennessee on a 12-0 run. Now 19 for Keon Johnson. They've got the lead back. The first since they led 32-30 back in the first half.
This is going to be deja vu last year in Lexington. 17-point lead in the second half. Kentucky lost it. Fulkerson was the reason. And right now, Springer and guys like Johnson really stepping up, and Pons, a nice play right there.
Tough shot made by Devin Askew.
He's a nice solid game here.
That puts him in double figures. The flop not bought by the officials, but then Jaden Springer pulled the string and came up short on the 8-footer. Mintz to the free throw line. Down the lane, fouled is Keon Brooks, and he will go to the line to try and put Kentucky back on top when we come back. Well, normally, this Tennessee team only allows about 58 points per game. They've already allowed 60. And Dick, maybe if down the stretch, Yves Pons is a factor, Tennessee might be in good shape. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5 Hour Energy, the official sponsor of Getting Stuff Done. Bob Wischusen and Dick Vitale. A Saturday night matchup, deadlock between Tennessee and Kentucky. And down the stretch here, Dick, you wonder if Kentucky can finally get the job done, hold on in the last 4 minutes, which has been the bugaboo for John Calipari's team this season and of late. What would a win like this realistically do for their season?
Well, you know, the bottom line is you got to build on that. Talk about for the season. I mean, I get tired reading some of the players talking about, well, we could go on a run and we could get a March Madness yet. There's still time. No, time is running out, basically. Chance for getting in as an at-large berth, I tell you, is like zilch. They got to worry about the current game. Should I even talk the word March Madness? Just win, win, and win. And then get ready for the SEC tournament. Because there's no way in the world at 5-11 I could see them possibly making it. And I think what really hurt them too, not playing Texas. If they had won a game playing against Texas, that would have been a big boost for them. Jay Billis had said that at the time, and I couldn't agree more with Jay. And I said that at the time. That game loss was a big loss when it was canceled.
And Texas might have been there to be had as well, as they're struggling of late. As B.J. Boston answers the dunk from Keon Johnson, and Kentucky's got the lead back.
Well, B.J. shot that really well. Squared his body exceptionally well. Didn't shoot it off balance. Now, this is a game, you're Kentucky, you've been in command, you got to close it out. You're at home.
Springer muscles his way to the goal.
What a nice move by Springer. That type of dandy's got ability. There's no doubt about it. Boy, his dad, Gary, he's got to be proud because he was one heck of a player at Iona. Played for Pat Kennedy.
Off the curl. That time it's not there for Boston.
That was a bad shot right there. Bad shot.
Right down the lane, challenged at the rim. Davion Mintz is able to stop Keon Johnson.
Yeah, great move right there by Mintz on the defensive end. Great timing. Veteran player. Look at this here. Looks like he's going to get a layup. Mintz says, no, 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 baby. Don't bring it in the lane. Come on, I'm a veteran. Get it out of here, Diaper Dandy. Get it out of here.
Big defensive play for Davion Mintz, the grad transfer from Creighton, who has been a very consistent player this year for John Calipari. Now across the lane. And a chance at the free throw line coming for Keon Johnson to break the tie.
Well, he got in strong there on the baseline. Watch Springer, a little one-on-one, gets to the baseline, squares his body. Oh, yes, square that body to the baseline, young guys. When you go to that lane, get that drop step over the kid's foot, and boom, right to the basket. He's come back nice with a strong game today. Had a real poor game against Ole Miss. You have himself a nice, solid performance here. Stock goes up when you have games like this. Rick Barnes was telling me yesterday on the phone, he was very upset with the fact that we post, here comes Fulkerson. I told you 6 minutes. Did I tell you that? Did I tell you 6 minutes, Robert?
You must have coached.
A little bit. coach on TV. I got a better record than Krzyzewski. I haven't lost a game in 42 years. Over 1,000 wins, baby. Because when I leave, the game is over, I get a W.
Askew lost it. A chance for Tennessee to extend their lead with the left hand. Jaden Springer spins it home.
Out there, Springer having a great game. And there's the turnover again. This has been Kentucky's problem. Late in games with leads. Look at this, another one. Another turnover. And not an ample turnover either. Oh,
Keon Johnson, he goes to the free throw line as Olivier Sarr may have just fouled out. So not only a turnover and a takeaway by Johnson at one end, but he attacked Sarr, and that might be it. Or check that, Jacob Toppin.
Real well. See what he did with his body?
Jacob Toppin with the foul.
He protected the ball, laid it on the glass. A terrific play. Got to learn those little things, guys. Playing this game, guys, ladies. Got to learn how to use the footwork, to drop steps, protect the ball, square the body, balance.
So that will bring Sarr back in, as Boston will return as well, as Toppin picked up that foul. So we saw Fulkerson come in with 6.5 minutes to go with 4 fouls. And Dick, now John Calipari responds with his big man, Olivier Sarr, coming back in with 4 fouls with 6 minutes to go as well.
Sarr's got to be productive now. He's got to be careful. They're moving screens. He's had 2 fouls called on moving screens. Fouled out in 12 minutes against Missouri.
Keon Brooks pivots, sets up Boston. That comes up short. Keon Johnson the other way. That's too strong.
Bad shot. Just a bad shot right there.
Mintz leaves one for the trailer, but Keon Johnson is there to swipe it away from Brooks. And at the other end, it creates an easy 2 for Springer.
Springer gets the deuce. What a terrific play right there. The defensive play was outstanding, and this game's getting away from Kentucky. You know what this game is reminiscent? You and I did the game? The Alabama game. Remember the Alabama game? Played them tough, and then at the end, oh, look at this. He come back from the back, never gave up on a play, made the play that led right there to the layup in transition. Tennessee showing now why they were rated so high earlier in the year.
Keon Johnson, defense becomes offense, and our SEC Big 12 Super Tuesday doubleheader on ESPN. And the app begins at 7 Eastern with Arkansas taking on Kentucky right here at Rupp. And then it's the matchup of the night in the Big 12. Number 17, West Virginia, squares off against number 13, Texas Tech in Lubbock. A really good SEC Big 12 Super Tuesday doubleheader coming up this Tuesday night.
Tell you one thing, McBride really playing well for Bob Huggins' club. By the way, you mentioned West Virginia. They have right now in practice, Sheboy is right now with Kentucky. You know that, right, Bob? Transfer from West Virginia?
Well, yeah, he'll be eligible next season. They don't think they're going to get him eligible at any point this season.
Oh, no, he can't play this year.
Yeah, he's going to be an impact player for them when he eventually gets on the floor.
Yeah, but he's going to help them big time in practice. They feel on a daily basis.
Yep.
He can practice with the team.
Mintz with a running one-hander. That's pulled down by James. Kentucky all of a sudden has gone cold.
It's got cold. They've turned the ball over. Have taken some bad shots. Here's where I would take Fulkerson on the inside. I would give Fulkerson some touches.
Fulkerson tried to get a touch there and missed the alley-oop at the rim. Mintz weaves his way through traffic and comes up short. It's deflected out of bounds, though, off Tennessee.
Trying to make things happen there with that drive. I'll tell you, it's not a pretty time to be 5-11 and wearing a Kentucky uniform. I can tell you that.
Earlier today, John Calipari, listening to his pregame radio interview, said they have worked on two things and two things only in practice the past couple of days. Turnovers, and they've only turned the ball over 11 times tonight. So it seems like Kentucky's been more careful with the ball, but this right here, the last 4 minutes, and how they have struggled to be in games and then close them out. We'll see if they can respond. A quick trigger, in and out on the three from Dante Allen.
They really struggled shooting the ball. Allen coming off the bench, the one guy that can't shoot it, but you sit a long time. You know, we mentioned they only got 11 turnovers, but you got 10 in the second half. They only won at the half. That's why they played a great first half. We're up 42-34, executed. We're efficient defensively as well.
Another tough shot in the lane by Jaden Springer.
Tennessee has taken charge, and the reason? The diaper dandy. Springer, very aggressive offensively. Showing his strength as he goes to the basket as well. Played at IMG Academy here. It's only a short ride from my house.
Boston tried to dunk it down, and that hit the back of the rim, and now Kentucky can't even finish when they're trying to dunk. They have scored 6 points in the last 8.5 minutes. And as a result, wow, Tennessee has completely flipped this game around to take a 10-point lead.
See, here's where I feel a packed house of those Kentucky passionate fans could have really been a factor in this game. Could have been a factor. Not silly foul that far from the basket.
Springer with a foul in the backcourt of Devin Askew. Kentucky down 10. When the games have been close in the last 4 minutes, they've struggled. Can they try and author a different script in the last 3+ minutes? We're about to find out. In the last 4 minutes, and over their last 5 games, these statistics tell the story, Dick, about why they have struggled the way that they have. Basically, from this game being about 10 minutes to go or so down to the last 4 minutes, those same struggles have already plagued the Cats and have put them down by 10 with 3:13 to go. Is this a hole they can dig themselves out of?
That's the problem they have all year, getting that consistency. John is really frustrated about it. He's never been in a situation like this in terms of they play some really outstanding basketball, but they can't do it for the entire game. They went down, what was it, against Notre Dame, like 21? Came all the way back with a brilliant second half. But they put themselves in a hole. They go through spurts. They go through spurts where they play so poorly after playing well. And right now you got Tennessee totally in control. You know, Tennessee played mostly without Fulkerson, without Vescovi.
But they've got Keon Johnson, and he continues to knock down shot after shot. He has been electric tonight. 27 points for Keon Johnson.
Johnson and Springer both have been electric. They got like, I don't have the stats in front of me. They got about 45 of their points, do they not?
27 for Johnson, 23 for Springer. Quick math, I think that adds up to 50. How am I doing?
50. Yeah, 50.
See what happens when I hang out with a former elementary math teacher? You know, you've taught me some things.
I'll tell you this, Bob. 50 points out of the 76 is incredible. Really a terrific job by the Diaper Dandies. Did they rise today? Where were they against Ole Miss?
Johnson. That time comes up short. But James tries to run it down, loses it out of bounds. The last 18 points for Tennessee in this game have been scored by the combination of Johnson and Springer.
Wow, take a look right here. Look at Springer. Look at a strong drive to the goal. I mean, he was just so strong to the basket.
Askew, finger roll is good.
He's done a really nice job today. Let's give the kid some credit. I mean, Askew's been really maligned big time by many of their people on social media, but today he has responded in a positive way. Good spacing against the trap. Rick Barnes 7-5. Just if he wins this and just holds out, it'll be his 3rd win in Lexington. 4 in Knoxville and 1 down in Nashville in the tournament.
Johnson splints the double team. Vescovi hits a 3 to beat the timer.
Well, what a great play to beat the trap. You go diagonal. You look the opposite side from the trap and wide open. Great vision to make that pass. That was not an easy pass to make.
Sarr rattles home a 3. And it looks like John Calipari will spend his final time out here with 1:02 to go, but Tennessee with an 8-point lead. And it's time to check out our assist of the game, brought to you by State Farm.
Look at this right here. Johnson to Springer, nice little play. The tandem, the two diaper dandies, what a duo. Look at these two guys racing to the goal. Man, if they stayed in school with the kid coming in next year, Chandler, are you kidding me? They'll be rocking and rolling in Knoxville, big time.
And unfortunately, the opposite is true this year for Kentucky. They are about to fall to 5-12 and lose the 6th of their last 7. And these are some of the headlines that have haunted this season for Kentucky, as it's really been nothing but negativity in Big Blue Nation.
Yeah, you know, really expect nothing but greatness there. There's no such thing when you wear a Kentucky uniform about, oh, we played them close. It's a great thing. Really? We were in the game. Oh, really? They don't want to hear that in Big Blue Nation. There's no such thing as a moral victory there. Look at these historic lows.
They're averaging as few points per game as they have since the 84-85 season. Their lowest field goal percentage since the early 60s. This would be possibly the worst three-point shooting season that Kentucky has ever had. So They've actually played at times pretty well defensively. Their defense has kept them in games, but they have struggled so mightily to score. And it's really a frustrating thing, I'm sure, for a Kentucky fan, Dick, to see them put together. And we saw tonight in this game moments where they had a double-digit lead. You thought this might be the night that Kentucky puts it together and wins a defining game, and yet here they are down by 8 with a minute to go.
Bob, the real problem is very simple. To be an outstanding team, on the collegiate level, you got to be strong in the perimeter, and they are not strong in the perimeter. There's a turnover right there, sloppy. Bottom line is, great teams have tremendous guard play, and they do not. And they've had great guard play over the years, as I told you, when they have guys like Wall and Ed Knight and Teague and all those great players, De'Aaron Fox and Shea Gilchrist, Alexander, and then they had Ashton Higgins even last year, even though he had a subpar year for him. But the bottom line is they've had great guard play. They do not have that. Hey, Bob, you ready to go down and out?
You know who Knicks fans are enjoying watching right now is Emmanuel Quickly. He has been tremendous. All right, let's go. Here, I'm ready.
Come on.
You want to throw it to me?
Look at this right now. Come on, man. I got to put my jersey on first. Hey, number 80, I'm wearing the wrong jersey. But you know what? They made me step in the back. They threw me the ball, and I'm making like a QB now. And we're choosing. He's making like my guy, Scotty Miller. Miller deep. Brady to Miller. Touchdown. Bucks win, baby. The Bucks win. Let's go Bucks, baby. Let's go Bucks. I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait to go there tomorrow, baby. You see this football? This football was...
What I've really needed in my life is another Tom Brady appearance at the Super Bowl. I think that's what our lives have all been lacking. I'm really happy to see him back.
I am so happy. Greatest move ever the Bucks made. Look at this. 1 by 11. Rick Barnes feels pretty good about this, baby. Wow.
A come-from-behind win for Tennessee over Kentucky. For Dick Vitale and our entire crew, I'm Bob Wischusen. It's time to head out west. UCLA, USC with Bill Walton. Here's Dave Pasch.